Well, 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 now this is very interesting. It looks like David Ayer is throwing a little bit of shade at Warner Brothers over Suicide Squad. Very, very interesting stuff indeed. Now, David Ayer, obviously he's the director of Suicide Squad, and people are always very surprised with how things went down with Suicide Squad because he is a pretty solid director and writer. He's done a lot of pretty great movies like End of Watch and Fury, and some of these other movies that are just really, really well done. And it was always a surprise to see how things went down with the I guess the creative fault of Suicide Squad and how it always kind of had a bunch of issues and problems with it. And of course we have now come to realize that a lot of it had to do with Warner Brothers kind of being a little bit too much involved with the process, unfortunately. But someone asked him a question here and asked, would you consider a live commentary of Squad? And he replied and said, I'd never work again, and a winky face. Very interesting, very sly, and it makes me wonder what does David Ayer know about what went on behind the scenes of Suicide Squad that we do not know. I'm very curious about that. So, and of course, as per usual, there always has to be a woke idiot in the comments making some just absolutely stupid claims. So after he said this, there's this person that asked, is Gotham City Sirens still on the table? And this person, Samu de Badalona, however you say her name, I don't really care, just another woke idiot pretty much. She says, I hope they make it, but with a female director. And then T800 said, why is that even remotely important? Which I agree with. That is a very good question. And she replied, Harley was sexualized in the entire Suicide Squad movie. And in Birds of Prey, she was a real character, not eye candy. She was a real character. Yeah, she was such a real character that no one gave a crap about her in Birds of Prey when people actually appreciated her in Suicide Squad. Also very interesting how nobody, like barely anyone even remembers what Harley Quinn looks like in Birds of Prey, but the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad continues to be an iconic look, an iconic costume. That look of Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad absolutely blew up after Suicide Squad came out. I tell you what, I was going to tons of Comic-Cons after around the same time that Suicide Squad was out. And like, I'm telling you, like 50 to 75% of the females that were there were cosplaying as Harley Quinn. Not even joking you. That is how much of an impact that look made. And it's a look that as soon as you see it, you know exactly who she is and what movie she comes from and what character she is. So yes, Birds of Prey messed it up. Birds of Prey screwed up. Suicide Squad got it right when it came to Harley Quinn. And so David Ayer retweeted this and replied and said, sadly, her story arc was eviscerated. It was her movie in so many ways. Look, I tried. I rendered Harley comic book accurate. Everything is political now. Everything. I just want to entertain. I will do better. And he is right on when he's talking about everything being political now, because everything is political now. You can't just have a awesome female character in the form of Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad anymore. It has to be all about the politics behind it and how, you know, David Ayer, he must be some sort of misogynist for the way that he portrayed her in the movie and all this type of nonsense that no one actually buys into, at least not anyone with common sense. So, I mean, he doesn't need to apologize or anything here. You know, I think that he was just trying to give a great representation of the character, and he did it. He did it. He made an iconic look for Harley Quinn. One of the most iconic looks, probably besides Harley Quinn's, you know, red and black costume. You know, besides that, this might be one of the most iconic looks that she has. So yeah, you did nothing wrong, David Ayer. You gave us a great version of Harley Quinn and a much more interesting version of Harley Quinn than Birds of Prey did. So, you know, I hope that he doesn't try to, you know, get woke over this or anything. You know, I hope that he just realizes that his job as an entertainer was well done, at least in the form of Harley Quinn. There's a lot of issues with that movie, obviously, and some of it wasn't really anything that he had to do with because Warner Brothers was breathing down the back of his neck like Joe Biden. But with that, with all of that, you know, I think he did the best that he could, and there was some stuff about Suicide Squad that I liked, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that I didn't like, but I'm not going to fault him for all of that because, you know, it wasn't all his fault is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, pretty much everyone can agree with the fact that the Suicide Squad version of Harley Quinn was much better than the version of from Birds of Prey. So, with that being said, you know, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. What do you think about David Ayer when he's talking about Harley Quinn here? And I totally agree that everything is way too political now, unfortunately. And I also agree, I also appreciate the fact that he is throwing a little bit of shade at Warner Brothers here as well, which is pretty great stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new around here, consider subscribing to Geeks and Gamers. I'd greatly appreciate that. And also go check out my personal channel, Josiah Rises, and subscribe over there. And I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.